Let's get it on. Hey, this is you know, the Iron Horse fella drinking grape juice here on the blue planet. Getting harassed by the little green men. Just had a frog have a spaz attack in here. It's alright. I had a quiet word to him. Seems like, yeah, this isn't his pond. Anyway, baby, let's get it on. Should have brought my guitar so I could get it on a little bit more. But here we are anyway. All jokes aside, things are going good here in this off-grid situation. The blue light, by the way, is from a bug zapper. I'm not actually on a blue planet at all. I'm actually on the green Mother Earth. And this grape juice, as much as I'd like to think it was fruit of the vine and the work of human hands and become my spiritual drink. Hang on a second. It is very much work of human hands and my spiritual drink. Anyway, it's another day in the year of this one, and for no particular reason, I'm ranting about absolutely nothing. So, thanks for joining me. Oh, hang on. This isn't a live thing, so maybe just one little request. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some live streams again one of these days, just so I can interact with you in a live situation. Is my current subscriber rate is bouncing around the 600 mark. I think I got to 602 the other day. It dropped back again to 599. That's cool, like I'm not in it for popularity or subscription or to appear as though like I'm some ultra wizard blue man sitting on. Hang on, what was it talking about again? Now, seriously, every now and then I wouldn't mind just doing a bit of a live chat with some of my subscribers and friends. And, don't get me wrong. And the trolls. If anything, I love the trolls. Like the trolls actually are probably my best friends. As sad and hilarious as it is at the same time. The trolls keep me on my toes. Like every now and then I do have to block the odd one. And it hurts me. It hurts me in the solar plexus. Every time I block a troll, I'm thinking like, do I really have to block this one? Like, seriously? No, he's not that bad. He's just having an attempt. But sometimes I just get that little bit, they just step over the line between asking genuine questions, to which I'm more than happy. I sometimes, I wake up in the morning while I'm having my morning coffee, and sometimes instead of having an extra sip, I'll put my cup down and spend a little bit more time writing out a response to some questions from people who are obviously trolls. I mean, Don't mistake yourself for something other than what you are. It's pretty clear, but sometimes you're not always trolls. So if you're asking a genuine question and you're willing to listen to the answers, which I can see, and you want to ask more questions, by all means, go for it. And I will spend that extra little bit of time without the coffee cup in my hand and answer them for you. And in the last week or so, actually, I've had a far more time than usual, because ordinarily, at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm like rushing to jump into my work uniform, jump in the car and ping off to work. But this last week, just hasn't been much incoming work, and turns out, we're in another coronavirus hotspot, blah, blah, blah. So, with all these, shall we say, negatives, you just always look to the positive. And oops, I just got a message from my beautiful, beautiful fiance. Love you, Resty. Yes, I am sitting here naked, so that's why I'm being very careful not to tilt the camera down, because it is coming into summer. Well, okay, we just entered into spring, and so I love you so much, babe. Where was I? Well, definitely not on the red planet Mars. Must be on Mother Earth. Okay. Oh, that's right. Talking about work. Yeah. So work is sort of like petted out. I'd say petered, but Hey, 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 St. Peter. God. And anyway, my big brother. I mean, we've all got Big Brother watching over us, but I actually have a big brother, and his name's Peter. G'day, Pete. I love you, bro. We don't talk that much, but when we do, we exchange words. We get along. So, hey, 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 St. Peter. There's another song that I really like too, but it's not coming to me. Remember the days of the old schoolyard. We used to laugh a lot. Oh, can you remember the days of the old schoolyard? When we had imaginings and we had all kinds of things and we laughed. Anyway, I don't know why that reminds me of St. Peter. I think it's the same era. Same singer. I'm pretty sure it was a cat. Cat called Stephen. Big shout out to Cat Stevens. Well, hey, 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 St. Peter. We go to town. I used to listen to a lot of Cat Stevens stuff too, and I can't even remember St. Peter song coming on. Anyway, the evening is slipping on a bit, and I haven't even put the Bunsen burner on to reheat the curry that I made last night. Last night was actually a pretty good challenge. I'm just going to sit here and brag about it for a little bit, because, when you look this blue, you got to brag about something that makes you feel good and makes you feel like you achieved something. And now, nearly every night that I've been living here in this tent, with a little bit of a caravan and stuff what I sleep in to block out the insects. That blue light is the insect bug zapper, which hasn't been playing off too much tonight, thank goodness. I don't like killing bugs, I love bugs, I love insects, and I just love nature in general. And as it turns out, I just don't love insects living in my sleeping quarters. So I got a bug zapper there, and if any of them decide they want to invade my sleeping quarters, well, they get zapped, but it's okay. I recycle them back in the morning into bird food, put them out there for the birds, and I'm attracting a lot of birds. So not those kind of birds. Not yet, anyway. So last night I decided it's been ages and ages and ages since I've made a curry, and even though I don't eat dead mammal flesh, I still suffer the sins of iniquity and humanity, and I still like to eat chicken occasionally. It's one of my weaknesses. I also like to eat fish, and I eat seafood type creatures. And yes, chicken is a bird. And so some of these birds I see flying around, every now and then I look at some of them and think, picking off the odd one of them might be slightly tasty, because some of them are like pigeon sized and like large pigeons. But I'm not going out of my way to hunt them or anything like that. I'm not desperate. I'm more than happy to eat God's gifts of green leafed herbs and seed bearing fruits as my number one nutritional thing. In fact, the number one nutritional thing is sunlight, which absorb directly through your skin and, funnily enough, your eyes and in the breath. Yes, that's right. You'd be surprised how much light you absorb in your breath. That is why some people are breatharians. I know. Weird, eh? That you can get so much prana from the air surrounding you. But anyway, at this stage in my humble earthly human experience, I do eat chicken occasionally. And so the other day, right, when I went and bought a carton of beer, because, man cannot live on bread alone, you need extra yeast. This one's getting bloody low too. So when I bought a carton, and it was a good price, only 60 Australian bucks for 24 bloody beers. As I took it to the car, walked past the chicken rotisserie thing, like, Woolies and Coles, that have these ones when they set them in plastic bags. Like, don't ask me how that works. This plastic, heat, nasty toxins. Can't wrap my head around it. But I still succumb and buy one every now and then. Anyway, it usually lasts me at least like a whole week. I buy one dead bird in a plastic bag, already cooked, driving home, tortured by the smells of it, and how many things am I going to do with this? I'll buy some bread rolls, I'll buy some salad, I'll make bread rolls, chicken salad, bloody rolls all through the week, and basically end up chucking out the salad because it goes bad, and I think the bread is still in the freezer. This is just the way it works out. You have the best of ideals when you're at the shopping centre because, super healthy dude and all that. Yep. And at the end of the day, you just chop up an onion and some garlic and a bit of capsicum and fry it up and chuck some dead bird in it, and Bob's your uncle. The amount of times I've done that since living here, Yeah. Anyway, last night, because this is about last night, thinking about last night. She was there at the bar. She held my guitar. Last night. Yeah, I think I've worn out the welcome with that one. I'm just going to wear out the welcome with this. Because you know what? This is actually like a bloody dregs of the dregs. When I brewed a stout one time, back when I lived back in the old castle in comparison to this tent. What I would do when I got to the end of the beer is when I'm bottling it, into the brew when I'm bottling it, I just put it all into one of these 2 litre, nearly 1 gallon glass containers to store the last of it. I've got 2 more of these left in the fridge, by the way. So this is actually a classic dark beer stored for multiple months. And 2 litres, that's like about 3 long necks. So I'm starting to think that I could be inebriated. I could be. It's too hard for me to think. But as soon as I finish this anyway, I'm just going to go get a real beer out of the fridge. It's been taking me all day to finish this too, by the way. And no, I don't drink to excess to become a bloody drunken idiot either. I just drink for the love of beer. You can quote me on that. So, anyway, where was I? I think I was just buying cooked chooks at Woolies or something. Oh, that's right. So, yeah, when I bought the carton the other day, there's one of them IGA or super whatever, one of those smaller supermarkets, which I generally don't support so much because they're generally overpriced. So, when I see their specials, I'll go in there and I did not say rate the shit out of them. I don't care how much you could read my lips saying that. I just go in there and buy the specials. So I bought bought a case of beer, good price, $60. You go to the Coles bloody, what do they call their bottle shop? They charge $70. That's $10 difference. That's a big difference, when you're on a budget. So, that's why I went to this super IPA or IGA or whatever they call themselves near the bakery at, I didn't say Ginella, and so it's like $10 less to buy a case of beer. And on my way out, I walked past as I say, the chicken rotisserie in their bags of bloody plastic. And I looked at the price and I thought, oh yeah, what, they're going to be $14-15 here because they're just a small supermarket when Coles and Woolies sell them for $10-11 each. And then it was like $8.95 and I was like, yeah, get fucked. So I walked out, stuck the carton in the car, and then I thought, fucking $8.95? Oh, you can't go wrong. So I walked back in, had a look, and thought, oh well, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, picked the one with the least broken legs and wings and shit, and grabbed one, went and paid for it, got it home, and that's probably the worst cooked chook I've ever bought off a supermarket, I have to be honest. But, rather than whinging about it, what I did last night is I made a curry. Because I am a man who can make a curry. And that's what this was all about. Is I made a really, really nice curry. And I took all the rest of that dead bird off its carcass. And it was like, there was a breast and a half, plus a bit of thigh as well. Because, if you eat the thigh and the legs and the wings and that while it's still hot, they're not too bad. But when I did first eat them, I have to say, it's like, I ended up chewing on until I got so much juice out of it, I just had to take a big wad of just like, I don't know, is there a better word for it than chicken string? It's just like chicken mash. It's like, okay, into the compost heap. It's good living in the country. You can compost everything. You can feed the rats a bit too. It isn't the worst thing in the world because you do have a rat and mouse problem. Feed them for a little bit, trap the fuck out of them, put them on top of your compost heap, and the birds come and take care of them. So, it's a symbiotic relationship. I hate rats and mice. But, whoever comes and eats the chicken carcasses that I put out there for them, I'm pretty sure they appreciate me as much as I appreciate them disposing of my waste, and I don't have to have a garbage collection service like a lot of people pay $600-700 a year for to have a garbage collection. I don't have that here. I'm getting this close to off-grid. Anyway, so I've nearly finished this bottle, and I'm trying to get to my point. That's right. My point was last night I cooked a curry, and that's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Chop up some onions, some garlic. I would have chopped some turmeric up, except I couldn't find it. Found it this morning. It's inside the caravan still on the chopping board. I'm slowly moving now. It's getting warmer out here to do all my cooking. So just chop up some ingredients. Oh, potatoes. That's right. Had some potatoes because potato are a good bulk to put into anything. Curry, Irishman. There's not much nutritional value in potato, but sometimes you just like to bite into something. So a nice bit of curried potato. That's just nice. It's a bit like tofu, really. There's no nutritional value in it, but beggars can't be choosers. And whatever pleases the senses is often more important than what nutriates the body. I think I just invented another word. I hate inventing new words. It makes me feel so guilty. But nutriates isn't a bad word. It's only because I think nutrients are not actually what nutriates the body. I know. I've got a sister she lives, actually I've got two sisters, and I think both of them live in Australia, so a bit of a bonus. Anyway, my favourite sister, actually the second, they're both favourite sisters. They're both my favourite sisters. So one of my favourite sisters, who's more into the nutrition side of things, she would try and tell you that, when you give somebody a certain thing to eat, it's full of nutrients. And I'll be like, she believes so fully in it too. It's so sweet. It's like, thank you, little sis. Yeah. All those nutrients, they're just minerals from the ground, but the real minerals, or the real nutrients part of me, as I've been explaining all this time when I've hardly even breathed once, all the nutrients that we really need, all the energy, is in the air we breathe. I can prove this quite simply too. Like, you know, if I close my mouth, I'll interpret that for you. What I said is, if I close my mouth and help my nose, I probably wouldn't even stay alive for a couple of minutes until I started breathing again. So the most essential nutrient element of life is breathing. 100% breathing. You just have to, part of my little detour into the refrigerator. It's alright. I'm still breathing. Oh, I'm still alive. Yeah, yeah. You need to breathe. And you need nutrition. I'd just like to thank our sponsor for nutrition. Thank you, Coopers. I expect the check to be in the mail any day soon. I can hear it in the works. Cheers to the sparkling ale makers. So anyway, yeah, she was just talking about nutrition, as though it's like, say you got a piece of crappy shit old car, it's running bad, you know, like on 3 cylinders, and it's rusty, and the plastic's all shit, and everything's going to crap. It's an old piece of crap. Far out. The whole homebrew didn't do that once, but have a little bit of drink from the sponsors and I'm all of a sudden like bourbon. Hopefully this will suppress the rest. So what we're saying is, you got a piece of old shit car. So what you do is you go to the manufacturers of people who make nice shiny new metal, headlights, glass, plastic, vinyl, all that sort of crap. And you just chop them all up into little bits, put them in a blender, you know, make a smoothie out of them, and just pour all that shit into the fuel tank. And then if you then start the car up and run it for a little bit longer, then all of a sudden all the problems of that piece of shit old car, they'll just start repairing themselves like a good old Christine from a Stephen King novel. It's like, yeah, that'll work. That's just exactly how it works with the human physiological body, just like taking whole heaps of pieces of crap that we're made out of, no matter how old and rusty we get, and then just grind them up and put them in a smoothie and chuck them down our throat into our fuel tank. That will also make us not only run better, but heal ourselves along the way. This is the mentality that humanity has been putting up with for so friggin' long that I forgot all about the fact I was talking about the curry I made last night. and you know, at the end of the day, all things being equal, I'm not a potato. I'm not a chicken. I'm not a capsicum. I'm not a garlic. I'm not an onion. I'm not all the different spices and stuff from the curry paste that I made. But because I made it with love, somehow it made me a better person. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I just heard a troll accusing me of being an alcoholic. In fact, he thinks everything I've said is ridiculous because I drink alcohol. Now, I'll grant you that, you know, a certain percentage of what I say is affected by alcohol. But what is also affected by alcohol is the extraction of the medicinal properties of plants that make them accessible to the human body system. Now, the biggest mistake in human nutrition is thinking that sugar is toxic. Yes, you heard it here first, out of the horse's mouth. Sugar is not toxic. It is the number one fuel of the human engine system that gives us energy. Now, let me clarify that with, what's that thing they call? It's too late in the night for me to think of that thing they call I don't know, that thing they put at the bottom of a medical claim that says, fuck this shit, it's all bullshit. Fuck this shit, it's all bullshit, because sugar is really, really toxic. Super, super toxic. Do not ever, ever eat sugar. There. I think I just qualified that. Ordinarily, the word had just come straight to me. Disclaimer. That was my disclaimer. Right. Now I've got a disclaimer. You're welcome. The disclaimer is processed sugar is absolutely toxic and don't ever eat it directly. Do not eat carbonated beverages. And when I say eat, I should hope you eat, because there is one golden rule in nutrition, and that is eat your drinks, drink your eats. You don't see that with me because I am eating my drinks. the moment before swallowing, I'm already mixing it with saliva. You will see some idiots, yeah, like this is still a reasonably full bottle, but you will see some idiots take, say, a whole beer, which would be the equivalent of one of these little tiny bottles, 375 mils, what we call a schooner, and an idiot would just down the whole thing, or would just drink it within a few minutes. And that is his problem, is he's taken in too much too soon. And hence he will have the mental condition of what we call being drunk. But if you take it, okay, I am taking a little bit fast. I tend to get a little bit exaggerated when I'm making a video. I'll just try and put it aside for a second. One. There. I win. Right. What I'm trying to say is that the sugar that the human body craves, which is why children love sweets, is why we like sweet things. Sugar converts to energy very quickly, whereas protein has to go roundabout sort of way, and in the process it creates byproducts which can become quite toxic. If you've got a regular system that can flush them through every day, whatever you eat isn't necessarily very toxic. On the other hand, you've got this group of people who they're clogged up, they're constipated, they're full of shit. That's just the only way to explain it. They are actually full of shit. The colon is clogged up. And the human colon, if you extend it out, I don't know if you ever remember back in the old days, you know, probably not many of you do, because I don't think many others survived, but back in the old days when they used to, you know, hung, drawn and quartered somebody, first they'd hang them, then they'd chuck a hook up their ass, then they'd pull out their intestines, and the intestines can extend for quite a long bloody, you know, 10 meters or so. And then the quartered bit was, you know, they just then just go and put a horse on each leg and limb and pull them apart that way. That was the whole process of hung, drawn and quartered. It's not a very pleasant experience, I can tell you. But there's some evil people out there, and I don't know if you've noticed, the descendants of these evil people are the ones who are still controlling shit that goes down today. How the fuck I got onto that after talking about how I was making my curry last night, I do not know. But I'm sure there was a link. That one thing led to another. Anyway, my whole point of it was I was in the middle of making a really nice curry, and thankfully I was doing it on the butane camp stove, cooking it away nicely and thinking, rightio, which way am I going to cook the rice tonight? Will I put it into that little steamer over there, or should I just boil some water? Or And all of a sudden the power went out. So here it was this time last night in the middle of cooking a curry and had no freaking power. And I was actually listening to the Globebusters channel on my YouTube. Now, I could almost not make up, I mean, discuss something else about that. I'm almost tempted to, because I've been a big fan of the Globebusters 2 channel for so long, because it's what I watch. If all of a sudden it goes out of service or whatever, because they got a strike and YouTube shut them down, what I always do is I get into my laptop with it's got a shit keyboard now. I can no longer chat on the keyboard on my bloody laptop. It sucks, but if I hit the key hard enough times, whack, whack, whack. Eventually I can get a G, sometimes a B. F is a bad one as well. I think there's a few nasty keys that just don't work. But anyway, I can eventually put in Globebusters 2. Enter key seems to work. And then, here it is. They've got their new little live stream happening. And so I'll click on it. Pardon me. I think the chair just creaked a bit. But it's doing my head in. It's doing my head in, honestly. Because I knew they also had a Globebusters 24/7 suite. And I thought that was the backup for Globebusters 2. And then I thought, oh, well, that's just the one for Witsit Gets It. He's traveling around the Americana land place and doing his stuff, and I watched a little bit of it, and it's not exactly my cup of tea, but guy's trying to make a name for himself, so some of it was pretty funny, I have to admit, but it's not the sort of thing I tune into regularly. So next thing I know, is Globebusters 2 don't even no longer exist. I'm like, what the fuck? It's almost like a Mandela effect for me. So I don't even know where I was going with that. I've got nothing against Mr. Witsit. I think he's very, very clued on, very into stuff. But I do sometimes think he speaks a little bit too fast, which to me suggests a little bit of chemical enhancement, which is just slightly above and beyond what the normal human condition is qualified to comprehend and understand. Good luck to him. As I say, no ill wishes towards you whatsoever, Austin. I see you've got very good intentions of spreading the truth. I just hope that there's no ego getting in the way. If you know what I mean, What you have to do is spread the right amount of truth the right amount of time to the right amount of people. Otherwise, it's just going to go whoosh over people's heads. And, they can only take so much at a time. Meanwhile, I had no idea what I was talking about. All I know is I made this awesome curry last night. I think I was talking about ingredients. Anyway, ingredients. I've got electrical power obviously happening here. So last night, it was only just starting to cook, by the way. The power just went out. That's what I was trying to talk about. And I thought, so this is what it's like to try and experience living in an off-grid situation. When the power goes out, how dependent are you right now upon electricity? Like, I know I am. I couldn't even charge my phone. Thankfully, I had it charged enough. Oh, in fact, it's bleeping at me because I got to charge it again now. But I had it charged just enough so that I could continue cooking my meal by turning the torch light on. And then when it was getting close to finished, I'm thinking like, damn it, now I got to cook some rice. Like even the rice, like if you cook brown rice, that takes 20 to 30 minutes as well. So even though the curry was simmering away nicely, I'm like, okay. Well, I've got the thingy on the other side of the caravan where I normally just heat the water up to do my washing up of the dishes. I'm just going to go out there with a pot of water and boil that and cook my rice out there. Not a big deal. And thankfully, because the phone was charged, I was able to do that via the light of the torch from this phone that I'm using right now and looking into. And so, as a semi-off-grid liver, I survived a night. I had a beautiful meal at lunchtime, thank goodness, to the same things I've already cooked. And even though it's about 9 o'clock already, I still haven't even turned on the Bunsen burner, as I call it. It's just the, I don't know, what do you call it? Cigarette light feeder, butane burner. A lamp. And reheat the whole pot. In fact, what I think I will do, now that I've reheated it a second time, is not reheat the whole lot a second time. I'll take out what I need to eat for tonight with some rice and put the rest in the fridge. And that will suffice for tonight. But it's just really interesting for, somebody like me. I've lived in freaking houses full of electricity even since I was like born, in 1971, that is, not 18, for those of you who thought otherwise. I've lived in a place, even though, we did have a wood-fired stove that the mother cooked all our meals from and made all the hot water from. We still had electrical lights, Damn it. We actually did. We had a wood-fired bloody stove and oven. That's what my mother did all the cooking from. I'm actually quite impressed with how well she did that now that I think about it. So anyway, I'm sure there was a point to something I was trying to say. Oh, that's right. There's no point to anything I'm ever trying to say. I'm just fucking talking bullshit, man. If only there was a scroll back button on the phone and you could say, oh, this is what you're talking about, Roscoe. Talk about this some more. It's like, oh yeah, oh well, whatevs. I think the most important thing is to remember at this time in our destruction is that there are some people who've retained knowledge from centuries ago. And will be here for centuries more. This is the one thing that they're trying to make you forget. We have always been here. And we are on the side of humanity. You know, the ones who aren't out to destroy, the ones who love nature, the ones who gave you all the technology you have, and yet you still think the Freudians gave it to you. We've known this stuff for a long, long time. You cannot be destroyed.